questions. Q&A. Nope. Fuck's sake, man. Get it together.
It's Q&A time.
Gotcha. Ew, yeah.
It's Q&A time.
So, we broke up for a couple of months towards the end of last year, and I blew up on TikTok. And I grew a lovely community, and I love you guys, but I know you guys want to know more about this mysterious man. Is he a murderer? Is he a gang member? The man, the myth, the legend. So let's answer some questions.
Genuine question. How come Dylan wasn't so active on your socials before the breakup, but now we see more of him? It's a really, really good question. So the biggest thing I guess with that is just my emotional availability. Before we had our separation, I was working like 16-hour days. I was very, very drained. I didn't have any space for really Natalie. Didn't have a lot of energy by the time I'd finished work. And honestly, the last thing that I wanted was to have a camera in front of me. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, and I guess like for me personally as well, I wasn't as confident in myself. I had a little bit of a fear of judgment, to be honest. So just me being vulnerable. I used to have a bit of a fear of what other people might think. But during our time apart and since I've gotten a bit older, I don't really care about that at all anymore. I've learned to go past that. I've learned also as well that being on camera and doing this stuff with Natalie is something that's really important to her. And she expresses a lot about how good it is to have all this stuff on film and, you know, all the memories. And she shows me like videos and photos from years and years and years ago. And I just think like, oh, that's so cool. And I just didn't want to let sort of any, I guess, fear of judgment get in the way of one, being able to do something with Natalie that she loves, that I'm also starting to find a lot of enjoyment in. But also as well, miss having just simply the memories captured on film. So yeah, that's why, just being more involved in it, especially now that she's got a community as well. Like, you guys are important to her, and if you guys are important to her, then you're important to me, as that's a big part of her life. So I want to make sure you guys know who I am as well.
There's literally photos that I've shown him, photos and videos from like years ago, that I'm like, oh, blah blah blah, and he's like, when the fuck did you take that?
Yeah.
What the hell? And I'm like, this is why I love photos and videos, because I just love capturing things, because then you have a moment, the memory is like unlocked in a visual sense in a photo and a video, and you're like, whoa, like I forgot about that memory. But because it's like visual, now you've got things on there that you just have no idea, or you just completely forgot about and may have always forgotten about.
And she's very good at capturing like candid moments as well. She just seems to be able to catch really cool candid moments. Anytime I try to catch a candid moment on camera, she's always like, I don't look like that, do I?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be standing there like this.
I'm not good at it.
I'll be like walking like full, just like at rest. I'll be like, yeah, looking good. And then he'll be like showing me the photos he got, and I'm like, are you kidding? Or I'm like talking to him like, hey, this one's a good one. Did part of me think that he was only coming back to me because I'd lost weight and become more financially successful? Full transparency, ever so slightly, because so much had changed for me. Like, I was in like the best shape of my life, and like my career had taken off. I wasn't necessarily surprised at my career taking off, because it's something that I've always worked towards anyway. In the circumstances, yes, I didn't think that breaking up was gonna help me in terms of like me having everything that I wanted. I was like, this is always what I've been working towards anyway. After, I guess, like talking and, you know, going through the whole process of getting back together and really honestly making him work for it, because it wasn't as easy as him coming back and being like, oh, love you, like, haha. I was like, okay, cool, but you know, like, even though I'm making good money, like, it's on you, because he's a man. I'm like, it's on you. Even though I'm looking banging, like, you still need to tell me that every single day and like fill my cup up in ways that I found that I actually really needed. So he didn't come back and things went back to the same. I was like, well, if you're coming back, things need to like change. And realistically as well, I knew he's always made bank in comparison to me. So I'm like, why would he come? He's already, like, he's not a bum. He was making multiple six figures for a very long time, supporting me financially. I was like, I just don't really see him coming back to me because of that. It doesn't make any sense.
Didn't really fit
our
reality.
You know, there's a lot of fears that come with getting back with someone that, I guess, broke your heart.
And that's fair, and I was aware of that, so I knew I needed to really be very patient with her and understanding, and give her a lot of reassurance and make sure she knew that she was safe, and give her that safe space, and always have a very strong listening ear. What are you and Dylan's plans for the future? Getting married, having kids later on? Yes, definitely getting married, definitely having kids later on down the track. We're not ready for kids for a while. We've got a lot of travel and that sort of stuff we want to do, especially build ourselves to, I guess, a place financially where we can bring kids into the world and they don't have to have a single worry whatsoever. We can just send them to the best schools possible, sports, whatever they really want to do. We don't want to bring kids into the world and have them restricted because of our financial position. That's not fair on the kids. And definitely down the track.
Well, actually, we spoke about it last night.
You're last December 26, eh?
Yeah, it's hard to say kids. Like, it really comes down to like our financial position and like how much life we've had. We want to experience, travel, build business, and actually just enjoy like our own lives together before we add something else into the mix. But at the end of the day, like theoretically, if we'd like completed all of that, for the most part, travel and stuff obviously never stops, but for the most part, we get to a point where we're like, okay, cool, like we could probably take that next step. Kind of does come down to like my own body clock, because at the end of the day, it's going to be my body. I don't want to be like too old, but I also don't want to be too young. So I feel like obviously it's hard to say. We could be like, no way, like I'm still not ready, but definitely at least thinking about it when I'm like 26, 27, and
in that ballpark.
I would like to have at least had my kids by the time I'm 30. Even if they're like newborns, whatever. But we don't want many either. I came from a huge family. I don't love kids, which is why I'm like not ready for them.
I've always had in my head for forever, I've always wanted kids. I've always thought around 28, 30 for me. So married, engaged, that sort of stuff, that's definitely within the next couple of years.
Oh yeah. We have talked about that as well. And the only reason why, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only reason why we're not engaged now is just because of financial position. I for myself love like the idea of a really grand wedding, because I'm like, you know, we can love each other regardless. I feel like when you're with someone, you are committing to them anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So
especially for 5 years.
Yeah, so for the celebration of like a wedding, I love the idea of like a grand overseas Italy or something, like multiple dresses, fireworks, like the whole shebang. And same with the engagement ring. I want a huge ring, like a rock. I want it to be heavy. Like he puts it on, he's like, will you marry me? And I'm like, fuck, like I've got a wheelbarrow for my hands kind of thing. So I'm quite fine with him not proposing at the moment, because we're just not there. We're just not there.
I have in my head how I want it to go, just waiting for the finances to catch up.
Does my family have trust in Dylan again after how hurt I was and when we broke up? Yes. I wouldn't actually say anyone really had any hesitations aside from my best friend. My best friend was the only one that was like, are you sure about that? Because she obviously did watch how hurt I was over it. But for the most part, no, I don't really think I think everyone trusted him pretty much instantly. My mum wasn't, she said she wasn't even surprised that we came back to each other. I was like, okay, mum, were you gonna tell me this? Like, the fuck? I think because of the way that it ended, because of the status of our relationship, how it's been, and all those factors combined, I think they saw the validity in everything. I think because of the way that we broke up, we always had love and respect for each other, and our whole relationship has been really good. He literally like made himself homeless so that I could stay in the house that we were living in.
Indeed. Couch surfed for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, because he knew that I wasn't in a position where I could get a place.
How did Dylan deal with the breakup? We never saw his side of things. It was hard, hey, but I sort of like shut my emotions down through work. I
think I just want to clarify, we had no contact basically 2 weeks after we split. So like we split, and then the only reason why we had contact after was because we were living together. We needed to sort out like our house, and it was about 2 weeks until that was sorted, and then from the 2 weeks after, we did not speak for like 3 months. So I didn't know anything that was going on in his life at all.
I basically just threw myself into work. I really extended my hours on what I was doing. I did anything that I could to keep myself from being able to have time to think. Like I was, like I answered in the other question, I was couch surfing and that sort of stuff from a couple of mates' places at that time. Just trying to keep myself around people. I didn't want to be alone. When I was alone, it was hard. I was like, super lonely, that sort of stuff. It wasn't good, but I basically just threw myself into work. I didn't let myself stop. Like I couldn't even sit there and watch a movie or anything, because it was just, I just had too much time to think. So I threw myself into my work really heavy, extended my hours, was always out walking, my trading and all that sort of stuff. Like I was just consistently on the go. I had so many different things that I was doing to fill my time that I'd actually got to a point where people actually were quite concerned about my health and my mental state, because I was seeing people and they were like, geez, Dill, have you slept? Are you alright? You got so much on your plate, you're doing so much, you need to actually stop. I just kept going and going and going. I had a couple of outreaches to people, sort of like trying to get a little bit of like help to bring me back to a good place. And they were sort of it fell on deaf ears a little bit, which was unfortunate. But yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. And then when I left my sales job that I was in and I went full time with trading, and I went from working 16 plus hour days every day to a couple hours a day, that's when I started to really learn myself a lot more. And I had a lot of time to actually process the whole situation and what led to the breakup. Learned a lot about myself, like emotionally. I learned about like what it takes to be a good partner and being a good man and all that sort of stuff. And that's when, yeah, I started to get really upset, I guess, about the fact of what I'd done, and I realised that it wasn't anything to do with us or Natalie or anything like that.
I had my suspicions.
It was all stemming from the fact of me not having any emotional availability for her or time for her, and I couldn't give to her what I felt she deserved. And then when I realised that was all stemming from the job and not anything to do with us, that's when it hit pretty hard, and I was quite upset and whatnot for a while there. And that's when obviously we started to rekindle.
How we rekindled is for another story. Like, fuck me. It was my birthday. I had a great day. My best friend took me to Movie World, living my best life. I was like, I'm gonna finish this night off with a walk along the beach. Like, beautiful. It was like 9 p.m. at night. I'm walking, my eyes are shit. I can't see like 2 meters in front of me. I'm walking, I'm actually in the best mood. I'm like, damn, I'm really gonna get through this breakup. Like, fuck yeah, like, fuck him. And then I see this guy in a red jumper, and as a woman at nighttime it's scary, so I'm like walking, I'm like, okay, like, act confident, like, you know what, like, it's fine, it's all good. I'm walking, and as he gets like to about here, I'm like, hi. And it was him on my birthday, and he goes, oh, hello,
happy birthday.
I was like, thanks. This is gonna derail me. That's basically, the rest is history, but that is how we actually started to rekindle.
Yeah, I remember actually standing there that night, and I was like trying to put on a brave face, trying not to let her know that I was upset, because it was at that point that I started to really get upset about it, because I started to learn more about myself. And I remember standing there seeing her, and all I wanted to do was like hug her and just like leap out and just hold her, but I was still like processing everything, and I wanted to put on that brave face. I didn't. I remember we went for a bit of a, was that night we went for a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like walked along.
We were standing there, and I thought, see, because he broke up with me and because he was like emotionally unavailable, I thought, fuck, he does not want to bar with me. And I was like, you know what, I'm a strong independent bitch. I'm not gonna let him like know how I'm doing, blah blah blah. So what do I do as a strong independent woman? I say, do you want to keep walking together? And then he goes, sure. And I thought, oh, fuck's sake, like, he does not want to bar this. Like, this is how embarrassing. How embarrassing. Like, fuck me. But turns out,
I was very happy about it. I didn't want to ask her, because again, I didn't want to, I don't know, the whole thing was really confusing for me at that time. I didn't really know what I was sort of feeling, but I knew that I just wanted to be around her and hug her. And then, yeah, when she asked that, I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
But I had to put on a brave face and act like I was fine. So
yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's so nonchalant, and I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, oh my god, I'm walking with him. It was the first time we'd spoken a word to each other in like 3 months. What are your icks about each other? This is a good one. I actually do have a couple of icks about you. I do.
This is the first time hearing of these.
First one, he has the stinkiest farts ever. Stinkiest farts. And stinkiest shits too. So sometimes like he'll go and shit. He'll shit a lot, and he goes and shits in the toilet, as you do. And for the longest time, I'm exposing you, he would leave shit all in the toilet.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. For the longest time.
No way.
Yeah.
I think I did it like once or twice.
No, he used to do it continuously. Now he's good, because I told him, I was like, we're actually gonna break up for a second time if you don't start cleaning the toilet bowl. So he does now. He's great. He's good. He'll do like the full like spray and everything, and he like cleans the toilet and everything. Like, he's good. But for a long time, he would go in and explode, and then I'd be like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And he's like, I would not go in there. Second ick, he doesn't know how to look for stuff. So like, he'll be like, he'll open the fridge, and it's such a man thing, but he'll open the fridge and he'll be like, where's like the cordial? And I'd be like, oh, it's down the bottom on the left. And he'll be like, what? Looking at it, staring at it like, what? And I'm like, down the bottom at the left. And he'll be looking at it like, I don't know, it's nowhere, it's really hidden. And I'll walk over, and it's literally the first thing you see on the bottom shelf where I tell him where it is, and he can't see it. And I'm like, oh, it's just like, just find it. Like, it's not that hard.
Blow.
It's not that hard. But yeah, why do men do that? Why do men do that? Why do men do that? Aside from that, I like everything else about you.
Well.
Oh! be a well. It's supposed to be me only.
She threw me under the bus here.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
So sometimes she leaves floaters.
I don't eat enough fibre sometimes.
A little floater. Sometimes you go into the bathroom and there's just a little nugget hanging in there.
A little bullet.
A little pebble just floating in the top.
Because they're so light that like I'll flush. I'll always flush. But then like they must just like pop up. And like if I flush and I've held the button down and it's gone shh, I'm going to assume all the shit is gone. I'm not going to assume that there's a fighter trying to get back out of the bowl.
But yeah, I don't really have any other like icks that I can think of. I don't know, I don't really look at her and like try and find icks.
I've asked him that many times and every time he's like, I don't have any. And I'm like,
yeah,
really? I guess it's a good thing.
What influenced both of you to work online? Just being able to have the freedom, I guess. Being able to just work for ourselves, have more time together.
Yeah.
Obviously be in control of your financial state, your income, be able to make good money.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the gist of that. Just being able to have that overall freedom to do really what we want to do and have a lot of time to spend with each other. And neither of us do well with being sort of bossed around and told what to do.
Not at
Especially Nat. She
I hate it. Every job I've had, I've hated just because I've been bossed around. I don't do well. I've always just been a free spirit and I have a very heavy sense of bodily autonomy. So because of that, I just hate being told what to do. And I've always liked being on camera. I've always loved being like creative. I loved like being able to be just expressive and like the idea of like, I guess, having a community of people and like connecting with people. And I love like being out and someone approach me because of social media and we'll have a conversation because of the community that I've created. And I love that. And the idea of that was always really like fascinating to me. Yeah, I guess social media always sort of like appealed to me. I have bigger plans of what I want to do, like have my own brands and stuff down the line. But yeah, for the most part, like that's pretty much why it inspired both of us. And I guess it comes down to as well the partner you're with, not everyone's going to be down the same route, I guess. So we're just lucky in the sense that we both sort of started off in a more traditional role and have both just grown and evolved in the same direction.
We're very aligned in that sense with what we want. I would like to know, what are you two doing different this time around to keep connected as a couple and not drift apart again? Or one, be more aware of each other. So we're talking to each other a lot more about like how we're feeling, where we're at, what things we might need more of from each other and that sort of stuff. So really just making sure that we're keeping in tune and on the same page with each other. And then I feel like we're doing a lot more of the things that we both get enjoyment out of and trying to spend a lot more like quality time together.
Yeah.
Like playing card games.
Yeah, we got card games, we got some board games, and we've been like doing things that really like bring us together and connect.
Yeah, I feel like just doing things that make us both laugh, so we can like laugh and have enjoyment with each other, really. Yeah. Also just really putting in the effort to fill the other person's cup in the way that they have their cup filled, because beforehand we did have an understanding of love languages but weren't really like implementing it. But I think it's actually so important to understand like how your partner receives love. Do we feel stronger love than before your breakup? Going through a breakup at the moment. First of all, I'm sorry, that really sucks. We know that that's hard. Second of all, I would say so. Definitely. 100%. I would absolutely say so. I would say we're in the best place we've ever been in. Yeah. I wouldn't say we would be if both of us hadn't done the work that we had done while we were single. Yeah. And I think the fact that we were able to come back to each other and be stronger is because we both met each other at the same level too. I don't think I could have gone back to him, because I grew a lot. I couldn't have gone back to him if I had done that growing and he was in the same spot. And I don't think it would work the other way either. If he'd left and had all the growth and learning and I hadn't grown, I just don't think. It really is just case by case. But in our case, I learned so much about myself. I know that you learned so much about yourself. We're in a really good place. Yeah, definitely. Definitely feel the love a lot stronger now. But like Natalie said, to reiterate that, it's really just because of, I think, the work that we've done to understand our love for each other better and to better deliver it better. And when you can deliver your love better and when you can fill your partner's cup up better, they feel more full to now give you more. So like it's this back and forth thing of like, I'm filling your cup and that's now in turn allowing you to fill my cup, and now I'm feeling better, so I'm filling your cup more, and it just goes back and forth like that, I think, and that's something that we've experienced. It just feels like how it felt when we first met, but even better. Like when we first met, like we had like the best
chemistry. Like we just
young little us,
18 and 20 we were. It was just easy. I remember it just felt so easy.
Nothing was a struggle.
No, it was literally just so easy. Like we literally got along so well.
Our honeymoon phase, though, we didn't have a fight or an argument for like 6 months. Like it was ages.
Yeah, well
it was so simple and easy.
Yeah, I think for like the first year actually.
Yeah, probably.
Everything was so easy. I think we'll call it at that. We got a lot of questions, so thank you for sending them all in.
Some really interesting questions in there.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of us and follow along closer to what we do on a day-to-day, we'll put our socials along here. Don't mind the dodgy hand.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be posting every Tuesday and Friday at 6 p.m.
But until then, see you next time.